first story is titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my brother he got exactly what he deserved when he pushed his girlfriend away for being a gold digger? My brother is a very hardworking man, and at 27, he is now very wealthy and doing well for himself. He's been with his girlfriend for 6 months, and throughout the time, we have gotten close because we both like hair, makeup, and shopping. I never knew there was anything wrong with their relationship, except when she texted me last week saying she would love to hang out, but thinks it'll be inappropriate because her and my brother broke up. I asked her why, and she said she was sick and tired of auditioning to prove she was with him for the right reasons. She went on to say that my brother is paranoid she's after his money, so he would test her like 1. Leaving out his bank statements on their bed and getting upset when she picked it up. 2. Going out to eat at high-end restaurants he requested and leaving his wallet at home at purpose to make her pay the bill and prove she's not going out with him for money. 3. Never buying her gifts and questioning her when she asks why he doesn't. I was so shocked, so I had to hear my brother's perspective. We spoke, and he told me everything she said was true and that there's nothing wrong with making sure his girlfriend is with him for the right reasons. He said he left his bank statements on the bed and was peeking through the door to see if she would be curious, and when he saw her pick up the papers, he knew in his gut she was using him for his money. So he set up the restaurant idea to see if she would get upset at paying a $500 bill, which she was. I asked him if he thinks her being an elementary school teacher could have contributed to her being upset at a $500 bill at the restaurant he wanted to go to, and he said no. He said the straw that broke was when she asked him why he hasn't bought her a single gift since they've started dating, when she bought him a gaming console and new rims for his car, and he knew she was just discreetly asking him to buy her an expensive gift. He confronted her and said he thinks she's with him for his money, so she said, "Let me do us both a favor," and dumped him and blocked him. He's upset about the gold-digging witch, and when I laughed, he called me an a-hole. He said I would never understand what it's like being a rich man and being used, and I get that concern, but I told him if he thinks any woman will be okay with his tests and auditions, he's delusional as hell. If he doesn't want to be used for his money, he should start dating people as wealthy as him, or leave lower-income people alone if he's not going to be genuine in his relationships unless they pass his test. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Sounds like you told your brother the truth. He sounds immature and testing a partner never turns out well. He said it's impossible to find a woman as wealthy as him, so he's forced to date middle and lower class women. So he's still going to continue his tests. I told him he should go to therapy, and he said I'm crazy. Your brother knows there are such things as prenups, yeah? Also, while I'm by no means wealthy, I do alright for myself, as I am sure is the case for many on here. I will say if I were invited to be treated at an expensive restaurant and be stuck with a $500 bill as a test, I would be massively blasted and would end a relationship. There's no way I would have paid a bill on a teacher's salary. I would have left his butt right then. He goes after lower to middle class women because it feels like he has an advantage over them. He likes the power. Seriously, he enjoys feeling superior and making them jump through hoops. Not the a-hole, OP. Also, dump your brother and stays friends with the ex. Only a-hole here is the brother. Also, where does she teach that she can afford game consoles, rims, and $500 dinners? Clearly, she's really responsible with her money, something you'd think the brother would appreciate if he weren't such a shallow a-hat. She told me she dipped into her savings for all that, and not her salary, which is sad because she still has student loans and credit cards she's paying off. Not gonna lie, I've dated men like this, and a girlfriend is better off without this minefield of mind games. She's clearly too good for him. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for only taking care of my wife and ignoring our roommate? My wife and I live in a house with a mother-in-law apartment over the garage. We got gifted a house from her uncle, and we use it for both a house and for work/side projects. So, when we were going to rent out the mother-in-law apartment, it made sense to rent to an artist. Our roommate is a very intense woman all of the time. She's almost a caricature of a man-hating feminist. I hate using that term as an insult because I believe in equality, but it's the most concise way to explain this woman. This woman hates the entire world, but especially me. She has tried to explain to my wife that I'm evil because of an entire laundry list of assumptions about me. I've heard her go on rants when she's outside about men and everyone she views as the enemy though. So I'm just a more available target. I don't like her. She stresses me out every time I have to talk to her, and I wish she would leave. But evicting her isn't an option for multiple practical and legal reasons. My wife and I both have histories of trauma, but 2020 has been harder on her. She's often afraid to go in public, so I have been doing most of the errands and taking care of her a lot more. The roommate has caught onto this and has decided that I owe her the same care because she has taken to cornering me all around the small yard to demand to know why I refuse to give aid to a high-risk member of my household and that I have to help her because I am clearly able and owe her. She has made multiple videos accusing me of discriminating against her for being a single woman artist and wanting her to ration food and starve by forcing her into the world when it's too dangerous. I don't care about her Twitter followers, but I am concerned that maybe I need to do something to help. It does look like she's losing weight and has been out a lot less, but I really can't swallow helping someone for free that is constantly mean to me and shoving phone cameras in my face to try to film a staged argument to try to get some kind of internet fame. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. For goodness sake. She's not a part of your family. You're the landlord and she's your tenant. Unless it's in the lease that you'll provide these things. Tell her to pound sand. That's the only obligation you have to her, whatever's in that document. She's not a part of your family. She has no right whatsoever to demand that you care for her. She sounds like a horrible woman. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole, OP. I don't fully know your circumstances or where you are, but if she's dumb enough to keep an online record of her harassing you, because that's what it is, then depending on the level of those, your state laws about recording and consent, etc., you may very well have the ability to file for a restraining order, which could possibly yeet her tenant's rights straight out the window. I know you said it isn't an option, but put in writing to her that you do not give her your consent to appear in her videos. And just speak with a lawyer if you can to see what your options are. If you're in somewhere like California, she's breaking the law. If she's video recording him within their home without his consent, that is likely illegal as well. Awesome point. I agree to get her out. This can't be good for his wife either. It's in the yard. She doesn't have access to the main house. The next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my mom's new husband I don't want the responsibility of being his kid's big sister? My, 16 female, mom got married in January. My mom's husband has 2 kids. His son is 7 and his daughter is 5. My mom's husband has wanted me to be their big sister, but I have mostly done my own thing since they got married. It's not that I'm not happy for my mom. I am. She has been alone since my dad died when I was 5, and it was just the 2 of us through my childhood. So I am happy for her. I'm just not totally into the idea of us, the whole big happy blended family, where there's no step or half or anything before the titles of mom/dad/siblings. My mom's husband and I have butted heads a lot over this. The stay-at-home order was tough because his kids wanted me to do everything with them. He wanted me to do their school from home with them, and he wanted me to play with them and come up with fun things for us to do together. And I just want to focus on my work and talk to my friends online and via games since I couldn't see them for months. He didn't like that at all, and it made things tense. I sat with his kids sometimes, but I couldn't get away from them and didn't want to spend my free time with them or my study time. The other week, we had a blow-up about the whole thing. His kids are back in school. I'm doing distance learning, so they are around less, and I'm able to see my friends outside, and he doesn't like that I'm spending no time with his kids. He said I'm supposed to be their big sister, and I told him I didn't want that responsibility, that I didn't sign up for having my free time taken over by his kids. My mom said she gets it, but it wouldn't hurt to try a little more with them and be the sister they're crying out for. She said it would mean a lot to her, but if I can't, I can't. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. I told him I didn't want that responsibility, that I didn't sign up for having my free time taken over by his kids. Damn straight. He wanted me to do their school from home with them, and he wanted me to play with them and come up with fun things for us to do together. Sounds more like he wants a free babysitter. Why would you have been doing their school from home with them when you had your own work to do? My mom said she gets it, but it wouldn't hurt to try a little more with them and be the sister they're crying out for. She said it would mean a lot to her, but if I can't, I can't. Listen, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be nice to them or interact with them at mealtimes, etc. But beyond that, you have your own life, and a 16-year-old is not typically going to want to hang out with a 5- and 7-year-old more than with their own similarly aged friends. The step aspect of it doesn't even come into it. If your mom's husband wants to force you to spend your time with them, he can ask you to babysit, paid, and if you want to do it, then you can. Your time is your own. Exactly what I was going to say. Even if they were your 100% bio siblings, you still wouldn't want to hang out with them. Not the a-hole. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for locking my wife out of my accounts? Am I the a-hole for never giving my wife access to my bank account again? The last year has been real hell for me. Deaths in the family, medical issues, emergency surgeries, and of course, money issues. Through all of it, the only constant is my wife's spending. I go in for treatment. Because of this, I cannot work, so I tell her we need to budget. She says she understands, but within 3 months, I am looking for financial help because she kept buying whatever she wanted at the time. We get a bit of holiday money and we agree to not spend it all. While I was in treatment, she spent it all. We get tax refund. Within 3 months, that's gone. I cash in a long-term investment to clear out all debts and give us a cushion that should have lasted indefinitely. That lasted 5 months. In the last month, disability gave her a total of $1,800 in payments. Even though she pays no bills, it's already gone. For your information, I have no access to her accounts. The only reason she does not have access to mine at this time is because I've been garnished twice for her old debts. So I took her name off to avoid it again. Update info. Some posters have asked about food costs and such. The funds she gets every month are not used for any food shopping initially. Because of my current condition and the situation we are in, we get a benefit until things clear up. This is where most of our food needs are met. But the number of times I have had to cover extra costs because the benefit has been used up, as well as her own funds, has become almost common. And yes, she knows how upset this makes me. I have literally looked at her and told her just how broke we are because of her mishandling of her accounts. The shock on her face is real as the reality of what she had done hits her. I can recall a few times I had to explain to her that she had spent all our extra funds within 1 to 2 weeks of getting them. This impact just does not last. Divorce is not on the menu, at least not yet. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. This sounds awful. She needs to learn not to spend money and budget. If she can go through that much money with no bills, it's extremely concerning. I wouldn't let her in my account either. Maybe start having her itemize what she buys and explain to you in detail why she absolutely needs that item and why she couldn't live without it. Maybe that will help her realize her spending is affecting the household funds. I wouldn't even give her an allowance, to be honest. If she doesn't have any bills, then she can get a part-time job. If she wants to continue spending, she can work for it. This doesn't work. It's seen as controlling, abusive, and holding money over your partner, regardless of how much is wasted or how much it hurts watching your savings and sacrifice disappear in takeaways and coffee. Sourced now to income broke husband. Not the a-hole. Reconsider your marriage. This woman will financially ruin you. I see a divorce in your future, OP, and I don't think that's a bad thing. And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe.